Hey, what's up, everyone? This is David Greenspan, and you are listening to the MindShare PodCast, a proud member of the Industry Syndicate Media Network. Additional podcasts are available at industrysyndicate.com and mindshare101.com. This week's episode is sponsored by Kit's Keep in Touch Systems. This is episode 31. So right now, I am up at the Blue Mountain Real Estate Conference put on by our good buddy, Andrew Fogliato, and his crew at Just Sell Homes. Each year, he hosts a 2-day event, day one today being the mastermind day, and then tomorrow, we're into the main conference packed with keynote sessions all day, all sorts of great stuff. And a lot of the time, as you travel to conferences to learn and expand your knowledge, you start to see a lot of familiar faces, which then develop into relationships. And sitting with me here today are 4 very cool and also very successful realtors. As we can usually get into all sorts of conversations, today I just want to stick the microphone in the middle of the table, so we're just going to keep the business thing going on, okay? But I do want to start off by going around and just doing a quick intro, who you are, where you're working, how long you've been in real estate.
Sean Ryan, Sarnia, Ontario. So we're just an hour west of London. Been in real estate now for 14 years.
Sweet. Cool, man.
Jessica Patello out of Mississauga, Toronto. I've been born into this business, but selling full-time for 9 years now.
Nice.
Charlene De Silva out of Mississauga, deal with Peel and Halton, and I've been in the business now for 7 years.
Cool.
I'm Drew McIntosh from OREA, and I'm the rookie of the group. 5 years licensed. And yeah, just trying to keep up to these 3 in the room here.
Well, hey, I'll tell you, looking from afar, and I will say this very sincerely to all of you, you're doing a great job out there. I mean, in my business, I get to see and meet with a lot of realtors and talk to a lot of different people, and people that come into the business that are trying to sustain, trying to live, trying to really feed their families with it, and then you see a lot of people that sort of fade out and they can't survive in the biz, so it's all about systems. But my goal for this podcast on a regular basis, as I was telling you guys before, I want to help our audience build mindshare, and that's really outside of my podcast, just on a general basis around mindshare 101 is what can people do to build it, and that mindshare is just another funky word for branding, marketing, getting your name out there. So we want to give people some of those little nuggets that they can walk away with that's going to help them better themselves and their businesses. And we started actually today, earlier at Mastermind, by asking everybody in the room, in one of the rooms at least that I was in, asking everybody in the room to not only intro themselves, but let us know about one of their biggest challenges. And I got to tell you, we heard everything from systems to time management to, should they hire an admin, to how to stay motivated, consistency, leads, social media, branding. Really powerful morning. I mean, I learned a lot. I took a lot of notes. And the thing is that many people in this industry have some very similar struggles on a day-to-day basis. So here's the deal. We got 2 kinds of realtors, like I said before. Either the newbies, the ones kicking around for sort of that 5 to 10 years who aren't really sure what they are supposed to do every day. They're maybe getting by, most likely struggling. Then there's the ones who see it as a career. And I like to think I'm sitting with 4 of you. You guys are really out there. It is a career for you. You get up every day. You know what you want to do. You're comfortable with what you do. Whether it's a good market, a bad market, you deal with it. You keep moving. You've got a plan. So as opposed to the people who just do okay in a good market, but need to get out when it's a bad one, I'm curious to hear about how each one of you make it a career, and then what your day-to-day plan for consistent execution looks like. How are you doing it? Is that sort of just as a simple term? You get up in the morning, what are you doing? How do you do it?
Drew.
Throw it to the rookie here. I think the hardest thing is to get into that routine. I mean, every one of us, I think when we first got licensed, had a little bit of a spike in business because you've been telling people for so long, hey, I'm getting licensed. You have 2, 3, maybe 4 deals lined up. So when you get licensed, it's wow, I'm a rock star. I'm killing it. I got 5 deals in my first 7 weeks. And then what, right? So I struggle with that too. I mean, I jumped into the business 5 years ago out of complete need. I was going to get laid off from my job. So my wife's like, what do you want to do? girlfriend at the time, fiance at the time. And I've always wanted to sell real estate. So I just jumped into it and I did okay, but I didn't have a clue. The best thing I ever did was I took a course. Like I invested in myself.
Took a course to what? To learn how to sell.
Yeah,
Not like your licensing course, but like a course to
Correct.
learn how to sell real estate.
Yeah, so I got licensed.
What do I do when I get up in the morning?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got licensed in March 28th, 2014, and I took a course, I think December, and it was every Wednesday for 3 hours a day for 12 weeks. And honestly, it was like drinking out of a fire hose. Like, it was like just stuff. Because it takes you from like day one that you're licensed all the way through to like building a team. Like, it takes you through, 2, 5, 10 years, however long that's going to take you. But just getting in those systems right away, waking up with a purpose. A simple thing, I put a sign up. It says, "Every day you wake up, you're unemployed," and that just kind of triggered some things that I could wake up at 1 o'clock and throw on YouTube and watch Crocodile versus Lion or whatever, and get lost and do absolutely nothing. But that's not going to feed my family. That's not going to build the life I want to live. And that's not going to basically live a filled life. I might get some deals here and there from people I know, but taking that course kind of put me on that track to, okay, this is what I should be doing. And when I get off of that, I would go back to watch week 3 or week 4 because it's all pre-recorded and saved. So I think for me, that was just a game changer for me. I found kind of my niche. No one in my market was doing online leads. In a small town of Aurelia, 32,000 people. A lot of old school kind of realtors, so they've done it their way, and this is the way it should be done. Well, 2014-15 came around, it was a good market, and I just put a lot of time, effort, energy, money into that, and it paid off huge. And then from there, I just kind of tried to make it how every client felt like they were my only client. So if I could do that, then I could build referrals from there. Because everyone talks about work your sphere, work your referrals, but when you're brand new, you don't have a sphere necessarily that's as big as what mine will be today. You don't have referrals, you don't have past clients, you don't have those things. So find kind of those 1, 2, 3 people, blow their mind with a world-class experience, and then just leverage the shit out of that, right? So,
I like that. No, I like that. You know what? I think sort of getting the systems, understanding what I need to do when I wake up in the morning. I think that's important for all of us in a different way. Again, whatever time you wake up, and I say that many times to people, I don't care if you're the early bird or if you're the night owl. Put in your time, put in your work, put in your hustle, and you're going to win, right? And you found it through starting to generate with the online leads, and then once you got a couple people, it was like, hey, let's service the shit out of these people, make sure that they really love what I'm doing, they'll go tell other people, and then sort of fast forward a few years later, now you have a referral base that you can work from as well.
Yeah, and I think looking around the room, we're all young, right? I'm 31. Jess is not 31. She's quite a bit older.
33 in my year, Jesus, people. My year
It goes down every year.
Yeah, so so Jess, 33, but been doing this for how long? Forever, right? So for me, it was I was 26. I wasn't from Aurelia. Wasn't raised in Aurelia. That's a nice drink there. Didn't
A little glass of water to wet the palate.
Absolutely. Didn't grow up there, and I'd never been in sales, so it was scary, right? Not where I'm from, so I didn't have those lifelong connections to kind of lean on. But taking this course, I kind of turned it into a strength, right? I'm young, but I'm hungry. I'm motivated. I have goals, and I want to get there, and I want to do it the right way. I knew it was going to be a marathon, not a sprint. So, treat every client like they're your only client. I say that all the time. Every listing appointment I go to, I talk about pay it forward mentality. Just do one awesome thing for one person that should turn into 3 deals in the next 3 years, and that should turn into 9 and 20, and so on and so on. So, just finding kind of what your strengths are and triple down on those. Gary Vee talks about it all the time, right?
Yeah.
I honestly, I take my weaknesses, I punt them. I hired an admin about 1.5 years in, and I wish I would have hired her a year before that.
Yeah.
It was one of the best things I did because I can be here today, and I know that things are running perfectly smooth back at the office, right? So, it's a little bit of trial by fire. I didn't have the best brokerage when I joined, from a help standpoint, from a mentorship standpoint, but I found the right people through conferences, through groups online and things like that. Your Taco Tuesday groups, things like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, and just kind of leveraged realtor to realtor referrals, and now my 38% of my business is realtor to realtor referrals.
See, that's amazing. So, I mean, there was a system that was built up over time, and you started to learn. And I mean, I think that's important for all of us, that we evolve every single day. Like, you cannot get stuck in one rabbit hole at the same time. Somehow you have to be consistent around what you do. How did sort of you come about, or what does it look like now, again, where you're at least in the way you run your day?
Yeah, so I agree with Drew a lot with this whole mentality that when you start in this business, things kind of just whoosh, like all this
like
business
they just
comes
hit you
in.
like a train.
Yeah. So my
All
first
these
year,
expenses and
well, not even expenses, just like the money. You're
Okay,
like,
yeah.
oh wow, like I'm gonna be
Oh,
an
make it,
amazing
yeah.
realtor. My first year in, I'm killing it, and I had that. I had like a great first year for a rookie realtor, and it made me lazy, right? Because I was like, all this business was coming to me. I wasn't necessarily going out and getting the business or working for it.
How long you been in it again? Sorry.
7 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, the second year was okay. The third year, or going on my third year, I was just like, oh my God, like, I can't make a living doing this if I'm not going to go out there and start doing something about it. So I came up with the great idea that I'm going to switch brokerages because that's going to solve everything. And you know what? In a lot of ways it did, because I got more training, I got more coaching, I got more support, and all those things were things I needed. But that wasn't going to solve the problem.
Right.
So I'm not the type of person that likes to door knock and cold call. And
Okay.
I've tried and tried and tried every year. I'm like, I'm going to try this online lead thing. It doesn't work for me. I'm just not that person. But I am really good at relationships. I play sports. I do a lot of things that involve like group and like team
Like
activities.
people, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to focus my energy there.
Love it.
And that's pretty much all my business. Most of my business, if not 100% of it now, is repeat and referral, but they've all come from my sphere. And my sphere has been volleyball teams. It's been, I volunteer with the Jays Care Foundation.
Cool.
Baseball is a passion of mine. So I'm trying to find ways to tie my business to my passions, and then benefit from it.
Which is something we talk about a lot. I mean, I think we all learn that as we go on. It's like find something that you are passionate about. I've said this many times to people before as well. Like when you're doing what you do, live it, right?
Totally.
So I mean, how many times like buddies of mine, like, and I know I've said this many times on my podcast or whatever, but I get to hockey, my boys are like, dude, you mind sharing today? Right? Like, hell yeah, I mind sharing today, right? But like, there's your hockey buddies who have, and I mean, granted, there's a lot of realtors that play hockey with us, but on the general sense of the team or the league or whatnot, these are just people that they're watching, let's say, me at least living what I'm doing. So it comes back to the same thing. It's like, be out there amongst those people. Let them get into who you are. So you did say, though, that door knocking and cold calling are not your thing.
They're not my thing. No.
And I'm going to say to anybody listening, 96% of the audiences I talk to will say that they do not door knock.
Mm-hmm.
That means 4% do. And pardon me, not only, but out of the only 4% that do, 99% of those people do say they see business from it.
For sure.
But 96% of people don't want to do it, and most of us don't want to be door knocked. So I get it, and I don't push it on anybody to say you have to do it. But I will say to anybody listening, people see business from it. So if you can be consistent about it and diligent about it, have a plan around it, it can work.
Oh, there's huge value in it.
And like I know cold callers that kill it cold calling, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like I'd probably door knock before I want to cold call people. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Anthony Brown, he's one, right? I mean,
right? Exactly.
He wakes up every day. He's like, I can't wait to make my 500 calls. I'm like, pardon me.
We've had Anthony on the podcast as well,
Right.
absolutely. Right? But he does it all the time.
But
right?
I mean, he's like, tell me a better way that is the most systemized way to have predictive income. And I'm like, I can't. I mean,
He's got his system
100%,
on lockdown
right? He,
now,
right? And he loves it, right? And he
thrives
will
off of
literally go on a Facebook Live when he's cold calling, and people are like, wow, like what are your scripts? His entire goal when he makes a call is to make that person's day better.
See,
Right?
I love Anthony.
Right, and he's such a wicked dude.
He's
I
such a
golfed with
good
him
dude,
2
yeah.
weeks ago, and but he had that mind flip at some point where he's like, I'm not calling to get business. I'm just going to try and make this person's day better, and in turn, business comes. So now he enjoys calling, because when you call to make someone's day better,
It makes your day better.
That's an easy
It
call
makes
to
your
make,
day
right?
better, man. Absolutely.
It's a real easy call to make. But you're like, man, I just don't want to hear a no. That's a tough call to make.
Yeah. Well,
And that's the same as door knocking, right? I mean, I'm with Charlene. I hate door knocking, but my agents do it,
Yeah,
and they hate it because they see business from
they
it.
see
They
business,
hate
right?
doing
Right,
it,
exactly.
right?
It's tedious.
But it's
100%,
like
right?
anything, as if you commit to it, you're going to see the benefits from it. But if you knock on that person's door to make like, hey, I just want to like give you some amazing information and make your day a little bit better, that's easy to knock on someone's door. But if you're like, I'm going to try and sell them, I'm going to try and get them to list their house, that sucks, right? That's not a comfortable conversation.
And you said you're also not doing the online lead thing.
Well, like I dabble in the online lead thing, but honestly,
it's
for
not
me,
your
it's
thing.
not my thing.
Okay.
And like, because I found things that are my thing, I just rather focus my energy there.
Okay, see, I like that. See, and that's great because Drew just finished by saying he loved the online leads, where sort of it helped spark.
It
things,
did, yeah. I mean, it sparked
right?
things for me.
Totally opposite now.
And now, 5 years in with a small team, I've completely removed myself from online leads.
Yeah.
And every online lead that comes in goes to one of our 2 agents.
So you guys are still spending on them,
100%.
but you systematize in a way to funnel that
For
stuff.
sure, and eventually, their conversions will get to where my conversions were. But that's my job as a leader is to get them to convert at a little bit of a higher number. But I'm at a point now where I don't need to take those leads. I can leverage those out to those other agents who need those to kind of build their business up a little bit. And now I can kind of just I wouldn't say sit back, but be a little bit more of a manager. And then business that naturally comes to me, I can still take.
Right.
Like right now we have 11 listings. 9 of them are from like my sphere.
Right.
So that's a huge percentage.
Sure.
But if somebody came in right now, like I literally, when I was in my room, I had an online lead call me because my number was attached, and they're like, "Hey, I want to go see this property." I'm like, "I don't know who this guy is."
Yeah.
Looked him up on our follow-up boss, and he was tagged to me and one of our realtors. He just happened to call myself. I sent it to Sam on our team, and she's like, "Yep, on it, done." She's now showing him a property tonight.
Cool.
Right, that's what I want, and that's what I like, because Sam's been licensed 8 weeks. She needs that. She's going to feed off of it, and she's going to get addicted to it like I did, hopefully. Right?
But they're not cheap though, right? Like,
They're not.
There's a cost to them, right?
And I mean, in Aurelia, they're quite a bit cheaper than in Toronto, GTA.
Yeah.
Because again, it's all about
It's a different place, yeah.
how many people are in that
Right.
kind of world, right? And in Aurelia, again, 32,000 people, an hour and a half away from the GTA. Sarnia, you probably have a little bit of the same thing, right? Where Windsor might have way more players in kind of that online, but Sarnia might have a little bit less. We're the same way. We have 1, 2, maybe 3 people, so there's tons of Google PPC available to us. So our cost per lead, I mean, even actually Andrew Fogliato, who's running this conference, he did a Facebook ad for us the other day. $50, it was 66 leads.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that it's a good thing? Like, was it conversion or?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are looking for the phone number, or sorry, the property price, but that's 66 emails and phone numbers we just added to our database. Now we can get a company like Kits. I don't know if you ever heard of Kits.
Yeah, I know Kids. Kids are apparently real good. Actually, sponsors of this podcast.
Yeah. So we get them, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, they're in our database.
Yeah.
Now we can drip on them. Now we can kind of add them to our regular kind of contacts, and you never know, right?
Right.
So for $50, if one of those 66 leads converts in 5 years, it pays for itself times 100. Right?
So this comes down to budget. I'm curious, Sean, are you doing online leads over there?
Yeah, so we do a mixture of different tiers. Like we have our online leads, we have our farms, we do door knock.
And you see business from door knocking off.
Yeah, like we really changed our mindset a few years ago, and we just have a lot of different pillars now. So if one gets knocked out, we have another one, and really just planting all those seeds for the future. Really, like it's kind of funny how all that works. Like I've knocked on someone's door, and then they've called me like 2 years later.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And my message changed too. Like it's all about contribution, not like sign here. It's more like I door knock more when I have a buyer for that area, and I'll knock on the door. We'll do a Facebook Live, like, hey, we're in the area knocking.
You're doing a Facebook Live at the door, or when you're doing your door knocking?
Where we're doing the door knock, we're just like, hey, we're looking for a home in this area. If you have anyone looking to sell, share with your friends. No listing required. Flexible buyer, flexible closing, cash. Give us a call.
Where you post Facebook Live,
Facebook
you're doing
Live.
stories.
Then we post it everywhere after,
Cool. Yep.
targeted in the area, and then we'll go knock, and then leave a hand behind, and then.
Okay, hold on. I want to hit
And
on
you're
that.
recognizable too because they've
Yeah.
seen you
Yeah.
online
I
and then
love
you're at
that.
the door.
Yeah.
That's what you
That's a double
call
whammy.
cross-channel marketing, right?
Yeah.
And again, forgive me for the pun here, but that's MindShare,
Yeah.
right? Like that's when just to kind of sum it up like that.
That's what MindShare is.
Ah, we got it now. But I mean,
Yeah.
I just totally spiked this. So, but this is where you're using the in-person,
Yeah.
you're using the online, you're taking advantage of video, and there's not a lot of people that want to take or are comfortable with video, but if you've got it, do it. And much the same I say to anybody, it takes nothing to press that button and just record. So once you start to crack the ice, Just do it.
To build
right?
those connections, really, like you got to pull back the curtain, let people know
have
you,
to
get your
do.
personality.
They got to get to know who
and
you
then
are.
once they do that, I find it's much easier, especially I'm in a small town, 72,000 people.
Right.
So it's not hard to get our name out there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you're using a mix between the online lead gen.
Yeah.
You're using a mix between getting out there in person.
Yeah.
You're taking advantage of your social media stuff.
Yeah.
I know you're doing like past client referral stuff as well. Obviously, like
Yeah.
there's stuff there for that
Yeah.
group of people.
Yeah.
Solid. So in terms of getting up in a day, what is that? I don't want to say that driver, that motivator, that why. None of that, but more like the systematization around it. We spoke last night, and this morning you're up at 6 o'clock getting your coffee. Like, what is that normally?
Well, I get up every morning, normally 4:45.
Okay. Wow. What
Yeah.
time do you go to bed?
You have kids?
Yeah. I go to bed by 11 at the latest. That's
Okay.
like my shot.
Okay.
I need to be in bed by 11 for this to work. I sleep like a
So you're
brick.
getting your time though.
You
Yeah.
rob me in the middle of the night. Pisses my wife all the time. She's, you hear that? I'm like, what are you talking about? Hit up the gym by 5, home by 6. I get an hour of like planning my day, reading, scroll mindlessly through Facebook, have coffee, wake all my kids up, wake the wife up, get everyone ready. Everyone's on the bus out the door by 8:30.
Yeah.
So I get that time in the morning to myself, get my stuff done, so that way I don't have to fart around during the day.
Yeah.
I've done all my farting around already in the morning before everyone's waking up.
Interesting,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you going into the office or? Is
Yeah, I
home
try to be in the office by like 8:30ish before.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to
Okay.
get in before everyone else if I can.
So it's funny. I made a
Yeah.
comment today in our mastermind groups, and I said to people, if you're going to work at home, cool, do your thing. If that's your office.
I couldn't do
But
it.
if
Yeah.
okay, so here's the thing. But if you need that dedication and you need that commitment,
Yeah.
but you're still not going to the office, then if you're going to start your day at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever time you start your day, 5-10 minutes before, get yourself in your car, drive around the block, and pull back up to your house and be at your desk 5 minutes ahead of time and be ready to go. And I don't care where that desk is.
Yeah.
At least trigger the mental part of the mind that goes, hey, I got to do something and I got to be dedicated to doing it,
Yeah.
right? So coming off the social media, coming off the online, coming off the traditional stuff, Jess, I look to you and I go, I know you're rocking it out there. I know you're doing your social media and you're doing a great job with the whole branding around that. But you do come from the old school.
I do.
Like I was born much the same. My father owned a brokerage for first 22 years of my life.
Yep.
I grew up with the typewriters, the black and white MLS tear sheets, the white, the
pearlies?
white out. You
Did you have
got
pearlies?
all of it, right? Remember it all. We actually still have some at the office for like Throwback Thursday, right?
That's hilarious.
But I get it. So here you are now, sort of next generation of the family taking into the biz.
Yep.
How long have you been doing it again?
Okay, so I got into the industry in 2005.
Okay.
Right? My dad's been an agent since
Right,
the minute I
yeah.
was born. He's like, this one's expensive. I'm going to need to make a lot of money. So he went out there, busted his chops, for me. But 2005, he bought a brokerage, and that's where I started learning it from the ground up. And I'm kind of, I came into the business with a lot of luck and a lot of love. I'm not going to lie. Since I was 19, people have been calling me Just Remax. I don't know how it started. It just kind of did. And so first year, smashed it out of the park. Ever since then, my business has been 90 to 95% repeat and referral business. My people are my billboards. They're my advocates. They are amazing, and I would not be successful without them.
So you grew up again with the old school traditional stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got a system around basically the repeat referral thing is more where your business is coming from.
Absolutely. So when I worked at the office, I actually taught a working by referral program there. So it was the only thing I knew when I got into it. I was like, I don't want to spend on advertising. This is all I know, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And it worked.
But I mean, again, when
A
you
lot
say
goes into it. Don't get me wrong. A lot of care, a lot of conditioning, a lot of relationship building goes into it. I sincerely care about every single person that I work with, and I know they care about me too.
and that's kind of what Drew was saying as well. It's that thing of putting it out there and going, I care about my client. I've talked a lot about that with people as well. Going, okay, for me, years ago, right? Write your goals down. I'm like, write my goals down. I'm not into writing goals down. What are you talking about? I don't even know what my goals are. Just let move on. Let's go, right? And then it became intention setting, and then it became gratitude, and then it turned into all this stuff of I read a lot, right? So I read with Audible, I listen, whatever it is, but try to take in a lot of knowledge, a lot of content on a regular basis, and stay motivated. And it's one of those where you've got to continue to take it on, continue to learn, and now it's almost you're every day going, how do I make this the best experience for somebody, and just continue to give back to people. And I mean, hey, again, what the podcast is all about, it's just let's give back to the audience, right? And I think so far people are probably picking up a ton of different stuff that you guys are up to. So I'm curious now around, we've heard of a number of different tactics that you guys are all using. What is that one thing, if you're really focusing on referrals, does it just bottom line come down to experience? Or is there something that you're doing kind of like where you've got this system set up where on a regular, this is kind of like the process we go through with people, even like pre/post transaction?
Absolutely. Visits, pop buys.
Are you scheduling that stuff though? Like here, let me give a little more context to it. Calendar, scheduling, time management, all that stuff is a massive issue for many, many people.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that you've got to be incredibly dedicated to time management if you really want to pull it off and then get everything you want done in life.
So that's where I struggled.
Okay.
So I found myself plateauing, and it came down to scheduling my day, both weekly and nightly. So
Yes.
at the beginning of the week, you kind of set it, and then every night you got to go back, review it, and adjust it. That made a world of a difference in my business.
And it was really going through the whole time and just
Oh yeah.
every day. Like Kathleen Black said today in our session at the end. And I mean, I talk a lot about with time management around like realistic time. So like, when do you have baseball, let's say, versus predictable days with income producing activities. When am I going to go see that client? So when am I going to schedule? When are those things going to happen? Because the reality is we're all busy. And like, we can't just go hang out with people and have coffee and go for lunches every single day with people. So how do we structure that? Knowing how important that is, because I think you've all dropped that already, kind of going, that is a big source of business once you start to actually fly in this biz. So for anybody listening who might be going, I'm struggling, I just started, or maybe these seasoned people, but it's like, what should that look like?
Yeah, and I think, so I struggle with that too a lot. And that's been a big difference in my business, is now timetabling things. And I've actually heard it from a multitude of people, so I'm not going to give anyone credit for it because I can't remember who said it to me first. But I've always been the person that will put things in my calendar, and then someone calls me and they're like, oh, I need to see this property, or can you come do a CMA, or whatever it is. And that thing in my calendar will drop off instead of getting rescheduled.
Okay.
So now I'm in a habit of nothing in my calendar ever goes away unless it's done. It just has to get rescheduled. And I do that, and that goes back to you scheduling the week and then scheduling daily, because you can't schedule the week and stick to it. It's impossible.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough.
But you can rejig things, and there's some things that are non-negotiable, of course, and there's other things that just need to get moved as other things come up. And just doing that little thing in my business has helped me so much, and it's given me more time back to myself. Because I'm not always worried about, I have all these things on my to-do list that I don't have in my calendar, and I don't know where I'm going to squeeze them in. They're already squeezed in somewhere else now.
Yeah.
I think our big problem is we all, like as realtors, we all suffer from scroll brain.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Oh,
And
God, for sure.
like
What are
same
you
with
talking
schedule.
about?
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
And like they said, the schedule. Like I use it as a guide,
Yeah.
and we're going to go up and down from that guide, but as long as we have kind of like it steers us in the right direction throughout the
Definitely.
week, so it helps a whole lot too. Like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I coached with Kathleen Black, I think 2 years ago, and one of the big kind of breakthroughs for me was exactly that, which was scheduling. And she did an exercise. My coach was Kate, and it was plan your perfect week.
Okay.
So in a perfect world, what does your week look like? It
Yeah.
goes 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And basically, you fill in exactly what your perfect week would look like. So for me, like my 4-year-old, he's like a little, Bin Laden running around.
I was waiting for like, how's he gonna? He's a little.
Word is coming
Yeah,
next.
he's just like a little. He's like
Pretty
a,
cute for Bin Laden.
he
Just
is,
gonna
he's
throw it out
like
there.
a Trump, right? It's like this little blonde
Little
hair.
toupee, line in
man.
the wind. Yeah.
But like, it's his show, right? And he wakes up every day like clockwork, 6:15. Like, it just doesn't matter. So for me, like, we have 2 kids. I'm in charge of the guy. My wife's in charge of the girl at night, right? So my daughter, she has a name.
The girl.
But when he wakes up, that's
The
me.
girl
So
has
like, we have that time, right? So we have that time. Like, he's got to be dropped off before 9, kind of thing. So for me, 6 to 8:30 is like myself and kid time. Just like we were talking about. You said you have that kind of 4:45. I'm not 4:45, but you have that time to do your own. from 6:15 to like 6:45, 7 o'clock, like he's watching his little 2 cartoon episodes, and I'm just doing whatever I want.
Yeah.
That's my time to kind of prep for like their day. You know, I can quickly run in and have a shower if I want to. I could grab a workout if I cared about myself, but clearly I don't. But that's kind of my time. So anyway, we did this perfect week, and for me it was like 9 to 11 was like lead generation. But in between there, I mean, like I know I legitimately can't just lead gen for 2 hours. I know myself. So I would lead gen like 9 to 9:45. 9:45 to 10, I would put in there like, you know, check email, phone calls, like voicemails.
Watch cat video.
Exactly. 10 to, so then 10 to 10:45, same thing, and then 45. So then you
So your line item, the calendar, though.
yeah,
There's like
exactly.
line items
And
in
for
it,
me, I
right?
took like, the biggest thing I did was I took a highlighter and I color coded it, which I'm not. I'm a post-it note guy. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, I have an appointment at 4 o'clock, and it's in my pocket. It says I have to be somewhere.
Yeah.
But my admin, she is like that. Everything is color coded and organized. So she took that perfect week for me. And for me, like Sunday mornings are my time, where they're in the summer I golf and in the winter I play hockey.
Yep.
And I'm home by 11, so I can watch football and Patriots and all that kind of stuff.
But you've got that scheduled into the
100%,
calendar.
100%.
That's what you're going to be doing. You're not working.
And that's my morning that I don't have any kid responsibility.
And I think that's totally legit.
Right.
Like
And
that
so-
has to happen in life.
Yeah,
right?
so we kind of just like my wife and I we sat down, and I mean I have a 1.5-year-old, I have a 4-year-old, and then I have an 18-year-old brother that lives with us as well. So I was like, okay, there's a lot of things going on there, right? So what is important to you? And for her, she's like, if you were home 4:30 to 6:30 every day, that'd be amazing. I know it's not possible
Yep.
because people want to see houses at 5:30,
Yeah.
but if you were in a perfect world, that's what my perfect week looks like. My perfect week is blocked
Sweet.
off 4:30 to 6:30 family.
Anthony said the same thing. That was Anthony Brown that we brought up before. He made the same comment. He said the 2 most important times for his family are in the morning and at night before they go to bed. So it's like, how do they wake up and how do they go to bed? He felt it was incredibly important that, and again, it's not possible for everybody, but he felt it was important that he was there with his wife, with his children, when they got up and when they went to bed. You know, and I think when we come back, and I say again, playing baseball, playing hockey, like I coach my son's baseball team, I coach his hockey team, I own a hockey league, I play hockey myself, like I got a big fat Harley that I'm absolutely in love with, you know what I mean? So it's like, try to find time for all of these different things in life. Oh yeah, I gotta work. Like I got stuff to do,
Yeah.
right? And now so here, this would take me right into consistency then. Consistently executing on my podcast once a week. Consistently executing on my videos once a week. Consistently executing on my phone calls every single day. My emails every single day. That's again where time management becomes real crucial to any of our businesses, right? What are you doing in terms of, like, again, your day-to-day scheduling? Like, are you line iteming? Are you guys using a CRM?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're using a CRM, and I don't even care which one it is, because what I would say is this, the famous line here is like, the right CRM is the one you're actually going to use.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, like, we have a CRM as well, and I went from being total pen and paper guy, writing down all my notes and all my like ideas that are floating around in my mind, and like to get my team to execute. And I got them on pages, and I flipped the page, and I got a new page. I'm like, oh my god, I got all this other stuff over here. I got to bring it in. I finally moved into a CRM world. In my world, I know how I operate it. I don't think anybody really operates it much the same. But is everybody using one?
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
have
And
you
I was-
gone away from Post-it notes now? Like,
No.
okay,
No,
interesting.
but I haven't been.
Right.
Right,
So
so
she's helping you.
So for Kelsey, I mean, she calls it her Bible.
Yeah.
Like-
That's what. Likewise, though,
Like
right?
Follow a Boss is what we use, and she just, there was a point where we were thinking about moving away from it because some other places like offered like a free CRM if we use their system,
Right.
and she's like, hold up, no, like this is my baby, like,
Yeah.
this is my Bible.
She's got that locked down.
That is the one thing that she has dialed into every single time.
Right. So here, talk to me about this then. Budgeting, right? When you look at CRM, we look at scheduling, we look at our marketing that's out there, and like the things that we're going out. Granted, social media is not an expensive thing to do unless you want to start paying for it. But as I think we've kind of broken down, and I know again, Drew, you're doing the online lead thing. It's working, which is great. But we've kind of boiled it out almost like at a 3 out of 4. It really comes, or even 4 out of 4, including yourself. It does come back to the past client thing, right? So when you look at budgeting around your marketing, how are you guys doing that? Like people have asked me, and naturally what I do every day is marketing, right? People said to me, Dave, if I want to make $100,000 this year, how much should I spend on my marketing? I'm like, "Ugh, can't answer that. They're like, oh, I've heard it's like 10%. I'm like, why 10%? Why does that all of a sudden make the number work?
You gotta
What
spend
if you
it
hustle
smartly,
hard?
though.
Right.
You know, if you just throw it in stupid places, every year I break down. I can tell you exactly how much I spent on lead gen and what my return was on it. I can tell you exactly what I spent on YouTube ads.
So you're tracking
Google
the
ads.
dollars.
Oh yeah, like I know it down to like I made, I had a conversion of this amount percentage of leads. This is my return on investment for what I spent on like Facebook ads or Google ads. This is what past clients got me. This is what realtor referrals. So
how often do you analyze that?
once a year, but now we're going to we went to doing our taxes every month now.
Yep.
So now we're going to be analyzing it
Like every 30 days.
Every 30 days
I
now
love
we're
it. I
getting
love
to
it.
it. Yeah.
Which is important because now you look and you go, what's giving me my return? Which is hard, right?
Yeah.
You need an admin sometimes. You need somebody to help you with that.
Well, I think it comes down to like we're always very tactical in our business, and we got to be more thinking more of a strategy, more strategy instead of tactical.
Yeah.
Right, and that's kind of what we've been doing more, and that's what we've really seen a lot of gains in our business is when we really strategize it all out, lay it all down, not just hunt kill now or planting those seeds for the future, farming kind of thing. Yeah.
That's it's interesting. So we'll get a lot of calls from people who are just starting in the real estate business, and they'll say, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, and like in my world at least, I've got 500 contacts I want to stay in touch with, and I got this big farm area that I want to connect with. I'm like, okay, cool. What's your budget? And some people say they don't know, and the famous line is always, well, it depends on what it costs. And I'm gonna say back to you, like, okay, it's like 25 G's. Pay me, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's be real here.
course.
Oh, I don't have that type of money. Well, okay, cool. Let's come back to like, what's your budget?
You know what the problem with it is? People spend all their money on
Be
the
clear
stuff,
on the question.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
did I ask that right?
and they don't follow up with anything.
No.
Like they get all the online leads and they come in and they go, online leads suck. I'm like, yeah, it's because you didn't call them 7 to 12 times and keep in touch with them for a year and a half.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like we have some online leads where we've been
I think that
nurturing.
was a personal attack.
Like we have some online leads that we've been nurturing them for 2 years, never showed them a house, but they've sent us 2 referrals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like so you can spend all the money you want, but if you're not going to do anything with it, just
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was a big question that I did want to ask today, because when you brought up online leads, and then we look at the social and everything else, and I want to talk to social and video in a moment as well. Support, okay. So you go out there, and first of all, just pardon me, just before I move to support, I guess to kind of taper off on like the budget thing. Let's go there. What did you do to first budget when you first started in the business? How did you do that though? No,
I
because
looked at my bank account.
right? But how did? Okay, guys, listen. We've got expenses, we've got life, we've got gas, we've got insurance, we've got these freaking cell phones which are ridiculously expensive. How do I sit back and go, this is how much money I'm going to put out there? Like, how did you do that? How did you know what
I
you were going to
honestly
spend?
believe in the first year it's really hard to do. I don't think that
I
you
know.
know what's coming for
Right.
you, and sometimes you fall into a trap of not getting a grip on it. It took me a number of years to get a grip on it.
Right.
It's
So
really
okay, number of years, like
yeah, I had a couple of years. My wife works with me now,
Yeah.
and she's very analytical and detailed. She's like, Sean,
God bless you.
Sean,
yeah, no, I'm lucky dude. My wife is the same
God
thing.
She's
bless
like
her.
she's a saver. Like she got retirement planned out like 5 different
Being
world
divorced,
situations,
for sure.
and I'm very like, let's buy this. My wife's like,
Slow down.
calm down,
Yeah.
think about it for the night, and we'll
Yeah.
redress
So
it
you're
tomorrow.
a spender.
Oh yeah, I love
Oh, yeah,
spending,
yeah, I'm a
and
spender,
my
too.
wife's very like holds the reins. She's the gatekeeper of the money,
Yeah.
and I have no problem admitting that because we balance.
You'll
each
never
other.
be broke,
Yeah.
man.
No, but
Yeah.
but it's a thing of you guys
Yeah.
were looking at the dollars going, what
Yeah.
can we spend, right? Like
Yeah.
surely like same idea. Like
Yeah.
it's tough, right? When you first get into the business,
Super tough.
It's-
And
it's-
that's why I said, honestly, when I first got in business, I literally looked at my bank account
really.
and was like, what do I need to live?
Yeah.
And what can I spend?
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's
I love
pretty
that,
much what
though.
it
Starts
was.
with the basics.
But that's where I come
Through
from.
the basics.
Like I'll tell you this:
Need
if
a
you're gonna
roof.
set your budget, right? I've always said it to people, like when they don't know what it is, I'm like, okay, cool. Can you spend $100 this month? And right away you're gonna go. Some people are like, no. And I'm gonna tell you straight: if you cannot, that's okay.
Yeah.
I got it. We got to figure out a plan that's gonna make it work. If you can spend the $100, my immediate next question is, can you spend $200? Right? If you're going, okay, can you spend $400? Right? I'm just double you. Oh yeah. Can you spend $800? And all of a sudden, like, that thing happens, right? They're like, you're like, okay, what about like $700? Like, you're like $600? Like, yeah, I could cut it. You're like, okay, $500 your number?
Yeah.
You're like, $500 I could do. Wonderful. We passed the gut check. Can you do that next month? What about the month after?
Yeah.
Month after that? Like, yeah. Cool. 12 months. End of the year, $6,000. Can you do it? Yeah, I'm good. Cool. One more question. What if you didn't make a penny on that money this year? Could you afford to spend that 6 G's on your marketing? And if people say no, then the $500 a month is not their number. If they say yes, that's where you come back and go, great. Now we got this budget around 6Gs. What can we do with that money to make the most money for you, right? That's at least the way I look at budgeting for agents, and I don't care what level you're at. Like I'll tell you all. Like my big thing is because it's gut check. It's like look at yourself in the mirror and just like ask yourself, right? Like for real, right?
And that's where it comes being strategic, right? Instead of just like throwing stuff out there and hoping it sticks, right? You get more strategic about like I'm gonna spend it here and I'm tracking, I'm gonna get this, and then you can spend more money.
Well, I love the fact that you guys are doing that with the looking at the ROI on stuff, right? Because now you get to measure where's it coming from, and I mean to be clear on that. Again, for everybody listening, you're not going to figure that out in year one, maybe even year two.
And that's the most important part, the fact that you're not going to figure it out.
You're not.
And a lot of people spend money on stuff and they're not getting immediate results. Like you buy a ticket to a movie, you see a movie, you're happy, you go home.
Right.
You do that for most things, right?
Yeah.
But with spending money in marketing in this
doesn't
business,
happen.
it's not like that.
Okay.
You are investing
I like where you went with that.
and time and time.
Both with money and your time, right?
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
So I've said to people, and I mean people, you guys, my audience, you should always look at this business as a 10-year plan.
Definitely.
Okay? We will tell people if you're going to invest in real estate, think about it as a long-term plan. Well, much the same, if you're going to invest in your own business, think about it as a long-term plan. When I get my lead, how long does it take me or you or the team, not to convert, I'm not going like how like bang on are you guys, but more just what is that normal lifespan of like that lead before the sale?
Okay, so for
If
us,
we get it, obviously.
depends on the lead.
Yeah.
So pay-per-click lead, usually we're about six to 9 months.
9 months. Okay, cool.
That'd be like our average kind of conversion is 6 to 9 months, somewhere in there. Some kind of a Facebook or Instagram lead, we're talking 12 plus months.
Okay.
So it's a top of funnel lead, right?
So we have all of a sudden though, we've
ahead.
boiled that down to be 9 to 12 months right off the bat on like a quality lead.
Yeah, a quality Facebook lead is outside 12 months 9 times out of 10.
Okay.
The only time they're not is if they're inquiring about a specific property that they just really saw, liked, whatever, want access to. But if it's just somebody who's just interested in us, what we do, who we are, they're probably 12 months out. So we gotta build a framework to how can we get them from 12 months to that day that they're ready to buy, that they are calling us. We do have that mind share, right? So
that's the key.
It's all different. I mean, we're the first time I ever tracked my ROI on online leads, and I think it is really hard because my first year, like these guys said, it's all about how much money do I have in my bank account.
Yeah.
And for me, I was always told have 6 months of pay saved in case you go 6 months without making a deal. And I knew agents that were like 8-10 years in the business that had gone 6 months without making a deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, wow, like if they've gone that dry spell, then it can definitely happen to me.
It can happen to anybody.
So for me, I was lucky, back in 2014, houses were pretty affordable. So we had low kind of costs at home. My wife had a good job. She could carry kind of all the expenses should hit the fan. But we didn't have that kind of that lapse. But what I just reinvested in my own business. Yeah. But for me, like my ROI on online leads, the 1 year I spent $5,200 in a year, which if I had gone $5,200 without making a cent, that'd be tough to kind of go back to. But that $5,200 in 2017 turned into $137,000.
137.
Yeah, so it's 27 times my return on investment. So like you can't. For me, like I got addicted to online leads, right? Because I'm like, where else can I get 27 times my money?
Right.
Now,
so you got addicted to that process of it, of what the conversion process is. And again, to restate that, we were talking a 12-month-ish period.
Yeah, so
I'll tell everybody from a farming perspective, or like a mass marketing, you're probably 12 to 36 months, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at longevity now, and again, back to marketing,
right.
Budget, and then systems,
for sure,
and your day-to-day, what you do. It all has to come together to bring that to life.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're starting to kind of get well-rounded with that PPC lead, that 2017 kind of market was such a crazy hot market. So I think that for us it was $5,000, $5,200 turned into $137, but those were kind of those leads that were 3 months in earlier because of the way that we set up the PPC, that they gave us information that they were looking for, a 4-bedroom house that was between 500,000 and 600,000, and we could go find them that place and then be that person who added value. And in that market, I mean, everyone knows 2017 was a pretty crazy banner year for a lot of people. People were not willing to wait on their realtor necessarily, so we kind of slipped in there and we're like, we'll become your new realtor because your realtor is not doing a good job. We'll be the ones that, response time is out of this world. We're hitting them with places that before they hit MLS. So we find that kind of business. It's a different world in 2019, right? I mean, it's turned from that crazy seller's market to a little bit more of a buyer's market to a little bit of a flat market to kind of everyone right now. It's the first time in a couple of years in Ontario that we're seeing different markets in different cities.
Definitely markets everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So in 2017, I could call anyone that I know in Ontario and be like, yeah, we're in a crazy seller's market. Like, it's just hopping off the shelf. Last year, everyone was like, yeah, we're like down 10%.
Okay, now
20%,
here,
30%.
you doing the social media, and I know all of you guys do it and you do it well. And again, I say that literally just being a guy that's on social media watching you guys from the outside. You're going to get leads that come from social media. What are you doing on social, or do you believe that your organic game needs to be on point before you try to take advantage of spending the money?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
You got to be you. You got to be you. I mean, I think that's one of the best things that.
Because that's what I get from all of you, is I get you.
Yeah,
Right? And I know I try to do the exact same. I just try to be me, right?
It's so important.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, guys, not just why are we in this room together today, but the reality is, like, we don't hang out every day together. But I kind of feel like we sort of kind of know each other. You know what I mean? Like we see
Charlene
each
and I
other.
do.
Are you saying you want to hang out more?
Hey,
You want to hang out more?
I'd love to. That's kind of where I was going.
you
No
need
offense, guys. You know.
Maybe do a little less, Dave.
Thank you for coming to visit me today. You know what I mean?
It's the only reason you want us to
it's
do
that
this podcast.
like-mindedness that brings us together.
But it's the like-mindedness. It's also the fact that we are all out there doing something to, I guess, be a little bit more vulnerable, put ourselves out there a little bit, get people to know who we are. So you're leveraging video,
Yep.
right? If I wanted to get into video, what would be that one piece of advice you might give me?
Be yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
But, like, I don't like the way I look, or I don't like the way I sound.
Get over
or
it.
just
Get over it. Because if people like you, they like you for you. They know what you look like. They know what you sound like. That doesn't even matter. I think we all come into this business. I mean, I don't know about everybody else. I came into it with this idea of what a realtor is supposed to look and act like. And I think that stuff, that hurt my business for a long time because I tried to play that role.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing that, like, people actually like me for me.
Yeah.
For being, like, that loud
That's
girl who
pretty
curses
awesome.
a lot and,
Which is
like,
pretty cool.
does a lot of dumb stuff.
Swears
Like,
to that person honking the video.
super aggressive. You don't want to mess with me, like, but that's me. And so,
Fight Jess.
and I hid that because I didn't want to turn off certain people. But at the end of the day, I was actually, repelling the right people. So just be yourself, no matter what that is or what it looks like. Because, I mean, there's people who are flashing their gold grills and, keeping it real, showing off out in Massachusetts, right? I think he was the first to really prove to me that, like, no matter what it is and no matter what you put out there on the table, there are people who are going to gravitate towards it. Those are your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
So
anyway.
so you're leveraging video on a reg.
Yeah.
Like you do it all. You do it though. It's
Yeah.
part of your marketing.
I mostly do it as a benefit to my clients at this point. I
Okay.
haven't got too deep into it with the whole brand.
So
I
what
do
kind
have
of video are you doing then on a reg? Like what is it? Because I mean I've said this to people in the MindShare Challenge that we do, that
Mm-hmm.
8-week training program, is these are the different types of videos you can do to try to give people this idea. Because I mean you guys know I'll pull the video. I don't care where I am. I'll just start videoing, right? Like I've done it so long for the past 3 or 4 years. Like to me, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
There are people who are just scared shitless to press record on that.
Totally.
So now, what we're teaching people is, look, you can do where you do like rants, kind of like what I do, where I just go off for like 60 seconds. You can do interviews. You can do like where you go talk to shop owners. Hell, you can keep it as a virtual tour, and you don't even have to be the star of the show. Let
Yeah.
the house do it. Maybe you're doing a voiceover. Where do you?
I started with the virtual tours.
Okay.
I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to be a benefit to my clients before it was to me. And I think putting a simple intro together is a few times is a really easy way to kind of break that ice, get a little bit more comfortable, and then start, getting more creative with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right? I just think that's the best way for me personally. Some people think it's, going live on Instagram or Facebook or
Yep,
whatever,
yep,
right?
yep.
Or putting themselves out there in a different way. I personally put the listings and that side of the marketing first.
Yeah.
And then I dived a little bit more into the vulnerability part of it.
Which
Because
is tough to
nobody
get
likes
through,
that.
right?
Yeah, nobody
Totally.
likes that. And
Yep.
it does take a lot to get out there and to actually say something that might bring a tear to your eye or somebody
Yep.
else's and whatever. And
Oh, I know Drew did that to us once before.
Yeah.
Charlene, you, I think I almost remember one of your first videos, and I may be totally wrong when I say with the Jeep, or that might have just been a video.
That was a video, but
A
yeah,
video,
no,
okay.
definitely.
But because I just remember you basically saying to people, like, I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah, but
right?
even the Jeep video, I mean, that's a great example of like not when you're on video, and my Jeep video had nothing to do with real estate.
No, but
Totally.
and it
But-
doesn't need to.
But it doesn't
does
need
it,
to,
right?
and that's the point, right?
And
so,
like I remember that.
Yeah, totally. And
Right?
and I've had other people too be like, "How's your Jeep?" And I'm like, "I don't even know who you are," but okay. But it's true though, and like for me, that whole Jeep video was about the Jeep Wave and how nice that Jeep Wave makes me feel. And I think like I didn't realize when I was making it, but people said to me like, just the fact that you appreciate the fact that other people are acknowledging you. And like that you get to acknowledge other people that are complete strangers shows us who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And I did not put that together for that reason at all. You know
Isn't
what I
it
mean?
amazing how that happens,
Yeah,
though?
and
You
it's
went
great.
out there to say something about something that had nothing to do with business, and now you got people looking at you going, "You're a really good person," or they're getting this perception, and unfortunately, perception's a bitch,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Like, we love our ink.
yeah.
If I had one across my forehead, would you look at me just slightly different?
You should do it.
Oh.
though.
Yeah,
Well,
MindShare.
yeah,
right
MindShare.
there.
I
Yeah,
waited till
right,
last year to
right,
get
right.
something that was shown to everybody for so long because of that, right? Like,
But that's, are you kidding? But that's reality, right?
Yeah.
So when you can start to break that down, and I love what you said about be yourself, be you,
Authenticity
stop
is so
trying to
important.
be somebody else, because what you're trying to do now is appease an audience of people that, are they even really your people?
and it's not just that. People know. They see through it.
Right?
The people who are
Yeah.
on your Instagram are your friend. They're your people. So
Yeah.
when you're faking it, they know. They see through it.
Definitely.
And that's actually going to hurt you more.
Everyone hates a fake, but you may only appeal to half the audience. But I'll take that from
I'll
being
take the half.
me.
Yeah.
I'll
Sure,
take a half
yeah,
instead
yeah.
of everybody hating you.
And,
Yeah.
and who
Do
loves to be sold to?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Right?
No.
So
Yeah.
when you're being someone who's not authentic or not genuine, you're selling yourself. You're trying to sell yourself. I mean,
I'm trying to
that
sell
whole
a
like
fake
I mean,
version
a
of
fake version
yourself.
of
like
yourself,
that,
yeah.
like that Grant Cardone kind of version of like sell or be sold. Like I mean, honestly, he has a great business, but it's bullshit. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to be you, right? So the fact that the video that you're doing like blew you up, the video that blew me up, and I mean, is not. I'm not trying to say I'm something special, but I was making a video and my wife was in Jamaica and it was just me and my son at the point, and yeah, you guys are laughing because you know the
No,
video.
I think I know it too. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember.
True
Like,
shirtless video.
Yeah, I mean, like the middle.
Historic.
It's like the middle of February, and I'm driving down the street without a shirt on, talking with, and I'm trying to go all Blair Witch and not even like look at the camera, and it's just like my kid in the
Blair
back,
Witch.
the kid in my back. My son's got a soother and just like sucking a soother, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know where my wife is. Like, she's gone. The laundry machine's not working.
Run out of clothes.
We got no clothes. We got no food. Like, where are you?
talk about vulnerability, right?
Right. I mean, and again, I mean,
People get to know
I haven't
you,
seen
though.
the gym in a couple moons, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna throw this out. You got people like at traffic going, "What the hell is this guy doing in February?"
Yeah.
How hot is it in that car? But I went to conferences like literally a week.
People recognize.
They're like, "Yo, you're the guy." And I'm like,
Yep.
"What guy? Like, what G? Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about, right?"
Yep.
But I think sometimes we get so lost in how small our world is. I mean, social media is so massive, and
Oh,
the
it's
impact
unreal.
that little video. I had people from Calgary, Edmonton, like the States, being like, "Yo, I don't know if I ever have anyone in Aurelia, but you're my guy."
Okay, but that's two stories right there about video marketing that have nothing to do with real estate.
Nothing. I have 4
Nothing.
You
deals
know,
from that.
so
I have 4 deals
when
from
we
that.
talk about the power of video, right, and even social media, it's just put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Get people to gravitate to you. So, here, transactional or relationship business. Pretty straight up answer, right?
Always
That's-
transaction,
right?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. You're
No,
teaching them the
yeah,
wrong
no,
thing.
100% is a relationship.
I think like one of the big things that realtors need to realize, and I think the new generation of realtors are realizing this, and it's inbred in us because we're so ingrained in social media, is that we're not there to sell a house. Like yes,
No.
we are there to sell a
Yeah.
house, but people aren't going to choose you because you know the most about how that roof arc is.
Right.
They're choosing you because they're spending a lot of time with you, making a huge decision. They want to feel comfortable with you. They want to know you. They want obviously you have to have experience, and they want the trust, and they don't want you to just go dick them around.
Yep.
But it goes way further than that. And before they even contact you, they are researching you. And now they're not researching you on Google; they're researching you on social media.
Right. They want to see who you are,
Yeah.
what you're up to, how do you party.
Damn.
I mean, but I'm serious about that. Like,
Definitely how you party.
Well, no, but that's my point though. Like here, where I'm going with that is like social media. It's if you're showing the party and you're showing, a few things that I like always caution, like don't show the party. I mean, you can talk about the fact that like we're together.
Show the party at the beginning.
But
Yeah.
no, but seriously.
certain
But
point.
it comes back religion, politics. Like, you know what? Stay the hell away.
There's a
You're
reason that-
never
there's
gonna
lots of
please.
No, there's a reason
everybody.
this was recorded at 5 p.m. and not 11:30 p.m.
Okay,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think 11 there. We could come back for round two.
Right.
Round two coming up.
And that'd probably be the end of your podcast.
Right? You know what I mean? But okay, so
No, I
so
agree,
I had
100%.
I had somebody, one of my coaching clients the other day, and he was like, I came from one business and I came to this next business, and everybody tells you got to go and you got to make a call and you got to tell people like, hey, yeah, it's me. I just got into real estate. I'm in real estate now.
I'm a realtor.
And when he said it to me, and like we've heard this many times before, right? But hold on a second. This is where I had created a post. I don't know. This was a few weeks ago now, and I said, does your mechanic call you to tell you they're a mechanic?
Yeah.
And people just wrote back like, LOL, and like, of course not, and blah, blah, blah. That's my point. So why in real estate does it all of a sudden become okay, or this is the way it goes, to say, go pick a farm area and talk to a bunch of freaking strangers and spend a shitload of money, and go tell everybody you know that you're now in real estate? And again, I get it. As a marketer, you're saying to people, look, this is what I'm doing now. But then as a consumer, a homeowner,
As a person.
how are you
Human, yeah,
actually
exactly.
taking that in? Like, so, hey, I'm in real estate.
Fantastic.
Okay.
You don't need to tell people, show them.
Yeah.
Like, good for you, right? There it is. Live it.
That's it.
Right? The passion.
Yep.
Okay, so let's take it there then. So how do you live it every single day? What are you doing?
I think you have to put yourself out there and you have to show what your daily activities are. And I know that might be annoying to some people, but at the end of the day, it's the only way to educate our sphere and let them know what we're really up to.
Yeah. Okay.
I think a lot of us would agree that Facebook can be a little bit of a fake book.
Yep.
Right. It's a lot of the highlights.
You mean that guy with the Lambo and the big mansion doesn't really have it?
No.
Oh my God!
Completely changed my world when I realized that. Right? It's like
Click here and you could have one too.
It's like the day I found out wrestling wasn't real. I was like, what?
Oh, you poor
Wrestling isn't real.
All right.
Damn it.
So I think
It's real. It's just highly choreographed. It's a dance.
but showing some vulnerabilities, right? Showing the real you. I think I can speak for two of us in this room that there was a point in time where we kind of lost who we were a bit, right? And we tried to kind of fit in with the model of who we should be or who we think we should be, and it hurt. It literally killed our business. And we went back to being who we are and standing by that and just owning it. And we can both say that we've seen our business triple, quadruple since
By owning it and being you.
being us, right? I mean,
Not conforming.
yeah. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just not a suit. I'm not a suit and tie guy.
Yep.
I mean, I'm gonna be at this event later tonight. I'm gonna be wearing a t-shirt and shorts and a backwards hat because that's me.
Perfect. So I'm
Pretty
taking off the
much
suit.
your outfit right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm
So
not
you're not
changing.
changing.
I'm not changing. And I'm
Well,
gonna
the
be.
last time you showered.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can't remember.
I'm changing. I'm not showering.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
But be yourself, right?
Like, so that video that I talked about, I mean, we'll all laugh about like not having a shirt on, all that. I went to like listing appointments and people were like, Drew, I feel like I know you.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they were like they expected you to
You
show
come
up
out
with
with
your
a
shirt
shirt
on.
Yeah, no. But
He had a lot of female callers.
Yeah, yeah. But all of a sudden,
yeah,
right?
but when you show, I definitely know people. Call.
Okay, so here, 7 ways to communicate. Okay, and this is something that I kind of put together a number of years ago, and I've kind of lived by it in the sense of, tell me there's more. Okay, and I do exclude radio and television because of the fact that it's just costly, and I know people do it, and in fact, you told me last night you do it.
We do a lot of radio.
Right?
We're in a
Tell me about
smaller
that for a second. Yeah, go for it.
We're in a smaller market though, right? So we run every listing gets approximately 41 commercials in a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
But we're in a smaller market, right? So it's much more affordable for me than like in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's huge for brand awareness. So our slogan is "Put Sean on your lawn."
Yeah.
Right. So
Nice,
we finish
I like
everything
it.
off with my wife came up with it. We always say "Put Sean on your lawn." So it's really good for brand awareness for us, and we're always out there. You know, our ads are on. We have 4 different spots, so we're running I think 120 ads a week on the radio between 3
Interesting.
different stations.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into dollars because that's just nobody's business. But it's obviously cost effective.
Yeah.
Or cost affordable, like you can manage it, you do your ROI,
Yeah.
you already said
Yeah.
that, so you're looking at the dollars, so it makes sense. So when I come back to the 7 ways to communicate, and we will say,
Yeah.
and you know it, 99% of realtors are not doing,
Also.
they're not doing radio and TV.
come on, yeah.
I think that realtors should be doing all 7, and let me label those off real quickly, is in person, by phone, text message, and I don't believe that you should have many other people doing that for you. I know there are people who do it, and if it works for them, I heard some people today, they're like, my assistant calls and they say, hey, I know you dealt with so-and-so, and I just wanted to follow up with you and blah, blah, blah. And now their whole like follow-up thing was actually pretty smooth, and I liked it. I was listening attentively to that. Again, not to get into their details, but those 3 are what we call the active touch points. Now you got your passive stuff. You got your email, your direct mail, your social media, and your website. And whether you use all 4 or you don't, they're there. And when we look at it, and I mean, personally for me tomorrow, I don't know if you guys will be up early enough for the first session tomorrow. I happen to be the fortunate guy who gets to kick that off, but we are going to talk a little bit about direct mail, the benefit of it to your business, right? So from there, when you look at those 4 ways to communicate, everybody's got their website set up. Everybody's on social media, in this room at least, doing it really well organically. Email, you guys are doing email on a regular?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Is anybody here, and I'm curious about this, is anybody here using direct mail?
Yeah.
Are you? Well, okay, I know that.
We do it through our. We have 7 or 6 different farm areas we mail to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're doing your COI list as well,
Yes.
right? Why aren't you guys using direct mail? I'm curious.
We will be.
I'm going to just that higher level, the mentality of it, because I think that there are, and again, let the cat out of the bag for tomorrow's presentation, which I actually believe last episode of my MindShare podcast I talked about this, but old people don't read email, and millennials don't like paper. Do you agree or disagree?
I think it's
No,
too
I
generalized.
disagree, actually.
I think it's too
Disagree?
generalized.
I disagree.
Cool.
Yeah.
Disagree?
Yeah, well,
Okay, I like
I
it.
think it's a general statement that might apply to the majority.
It's a
of people,
horrible
but
way to
it-
say it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I also
somebody
think-
has
It's a
said it to
generalization
me.
at the
Somebody
end
has
of the
said it to me that way, and I was like,
because I'm a millennial and people are like, when I text you, why do you call me back? And I'm
Right.
like, because that's what I like.
Yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
easier for me.
Okay.
So to say that millennials like texting better, it's a generalization, and it's
Yep,
true.
yep.
Most do, not all.
Right.
Right. But you can't. I guess you can't really focus it around.
Yeah. And
So-
I do direct mail.
You
I
do direct
I do
mail?
snail mail.
Okay.
But I do it in a completely different way. Like
Okay.
I don't have farm areas. I don't
Yep.
like I said, I
So what are you
focus on
doing?
my sphere. So my clients get, or my like past clients and sphere and stuff like that, they get birthday cards.
yeah, I
which they
love
appreciate.
it.
They get
Do you actually put pen to paper?
100% every
Yeah.
time, and I write a personalized message every single time.
Okay, keep going on that, and,
And
I'll
then
circle back
and
to
they
that.
get, if people I haven't touched base with in a while will get just a card that says, it's kind of, I mean, there's a lot of people at coaches that teach
Yep,
this too,
yep,
but
yep.
I send note cards, and those cards are what get me business. They really are.
So mail's actually working for you.
They are, but I'm not sending, like, when they get a piece of mail from me, they're never getting a piece of mail that they feel like I've sent
To other
to
people.
500 other
Okay,
people.
cool.
They're always getting a piece of mail from me that they feel is individual, and it is.
So, but you have found value in using mail.
For sure.
100%.
For sure.
Here's what I would say about mail. And again, if you guys happen to make it to tomorrow's first session of the day, I'm going to give you a bunch of good stats around it. But I mean, there is a stat that says that 76% of millennials in both the United States and Canada prefer direct mail or believe direct mail is more trustworthy than your typical, let's say, social media online advertising, which is an interesting fact because you start to go, the millennial generation is actually believing this stuff works. And then you look and say, there's been stuff said out there that, well, the millennials actually didn't grow up with it, so to them it's almost like a bright shiny object.
100%.
Definitely.
They're
So now-
overexposed to the online stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so and they're
Reverse of us.
Yes.
they're smart enough to go, I know what a scam is. I know what a spam email is. I know that
I know what a
message.
sponsored ad is.
I know what that is.
Oh, for
So I'm
sure.
not believing
Yep.
it, but all of a sudden something comes to me address and it's working. Now I'm taking this here because I'm going, when you look at the fact that what we do here for a living is help people buy and sell real estate, Now we're going, okay, well, we need to know where they live. And one of the moderators in today's mastermind said, the most important piece of data you could have about anybody is an email address. In my head, I thought, yeah, emails, it's important because there's a lot of metadata out there these days that is attached to our email. Like, we can sponsor ads and do everything else based on your email address, right? However, if you're in real estate, wouldn't it be the most important thing to have somebody's mailing address, like where they actually live, so you can know what kind of home are they in? Do they want to upgrade? Do they want to downsize? What neighborhood are they in? How can I give them a CMA, let's say, once a year?
Definitely.
Right? There's where the benefit of having that address is, and that little piece of mail with the physical tangibility to it.
Golden ticket is all 3. Phone
Right?
number as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here we go. Here we go now. Cross-channel marketing. Come back to those 7 ways to communicate. And back to where I wanted to just kind of go when you said about the online leads, and for anybody doing the social media stuff, you get a lead. We talked about the length of time being at least about 9 to 12 months for
Traditional, yeah.
potential conversion. Now we go, I got to stay in touch with people, right? Supporting it with having, let's say, the radio to the whatever else is going on there. Do you guys all use a cross-channel strategy? Like, where we're not just doing social, because again, you all do a good job with social, right?
Yeah, social is just, I think social, at least for me, social has always been to, like, back up and what I'm already doing.
Okay, cool.
It's
So
not
there's
like
a support mechanism.
Yeah, it's a support
there.
mechanism.
Right.
And for a lot of people, it is their first point of contact with me,
Yep.
which is fine. But for most people, it's not.
But there's a point where you almost got to, like, you almost want to bring it to life and make yourself, it sounds weird to say from social media, make yourself real. Now make it more
100%.
tangible. Let them almost touch and feel you. I'm saying that wrong, really.
Sounds like a good time.
Right? Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like,
I love
it's,
touching my clients.
if you send a piece of mail and all of a sudden they're like, it feels
Have you
more
touched
real.
your client lately? I think that's a good yeah.
So let's move on. No. So guys, as we do this here, what would be, as we sort of tail off of this here, parting words? What would you say if you had to give a piece of advice? And I want to frame this for everybody. This is not just the person who just got in, but I know that person who's listening right now is going, "Oh my God, great info, lots to take in." And I advise anybody who's in that position right now, or you've been in the biz 5 to 10 years, and you're looking to go, "Yeah, I got to go next level." Listen back to this thing, start to take notes for what everybody listened to, or everybody had to say. For those people that are seasoned in the biz, kind of like the group that's in front of me right now, for those people that are in the biz that are kind of like our older generation that was there, they're still going to take a bunch of info in, because to them, the video conversation, the social media conversation is an eye-opener, right? It really is. What are your parting words to somebody who's listening to this right now?
Yeah,
Just
give
that piece of
everyone
advice.
the magic answer to online marketing and social. Just
Magic
start
pill.
doing something.
Okay.
You're not going to get it. I didn't learn it all in a day.
Just start.
It's like riding a bike. You start with the training wheel, you take one off. Next thing you know, you fall a few times, you get up, and then you get better and better at it.
Cool.
So just start doing something, and then you'll just progress and get better and better as you add another pillar, right, to your business.
Okay.
And
So just get started.
just start it. Stop trying to create the perfect ad or the perfect video. Like, I did my first video, 30 takes, and my wife posted it on. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And I was like, oh wait a minute, I'm still alive. You know what I mean? So like, let's just do it. You know what I mean? Just get out, screw it, and do it. Right? Just get out and do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just get started.
Hashtag screw it and do it.
I already said it. Be yourself, but beyond that, find a mentor. Find
Okay.
somebody who can show you the way, so you don't feel so lost.
Okay.
Because even the most experienced agents can sometimes find themselves being a little bit lost.
Okay, cool. Drew?
I think kind of a combo. I mean, don't get paralyzed by perfection. We're often kind of trying to make everything perfect. That video perfect, that selfie perfect, that filter exactly so we look our best. And that's just our 2019 world. But I think if you can just get out there and do it, know that there's no silver bullet, there's no magic pill that you can just all of a sudden be successful. And then kind of along with Jess said about the mentor, listen more to less people. And I think often we're always trying to find, like, we want to try and get 1% from 100 people. Well, no, go find the best 10% from 10 people, right? So if you honestly, 7 months ago, someone was like, Drew, you need to up your Instagram game. I'm like, yeah, I totally know that. They're like, find somebody who you want, whose Instagram you love and want to kind of replicate and be that. And I mean, we've had this conversation. I was like, David Greenspan.
Oh, cool.
Honestly.
Boom!
Right.
All right,
I'm going
That's it. He has something right here. I know. It's just,
Whatever you know, got some shit up there.
But let me okay, I'll take the 50, but that's fine. But for me, it was like, how do I balance business, myself, my family, and all of that kind of stuff? And I mean, no BS. I mean, you do a great job of that. Right? I mean, when you come to a Realty to play hockey, the first thing you're tagging me, you're like, I'm in your arena, I'm in your hood, you know, what's good, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, like, that's, and I mean, just, so find that one person on Instagram that you love, or 2 or 3 people, and try and take the best 20-30% from what they do and implement that. You know, from a sales point of view, I mean, there's a few agents that I'm like, I would hate to be in a negotiation with if I was in their market, because they would eat me alive. I'm like, but take that percentage of those people and learn from that. I mean, 2 years ago, it's kind of when Jess and Charlene and I kind of got really, really close, and Jess showed me like what her CMA looked like, and my mind was just blown. I'm like, wow, like, the level of detail that Jess puts into a CMA is like out of this world. Cool. And then Jess is like, Drew, how are you doing so many transactions? I'm doing half of your transactions. We're making the same amount of money, right? But like, her market is completely. I have to do those because my average price is $380. Her average price is $700. We're doing the same amount of work, but it's just. She's like, how do I double my transactions? I'm like, how do I blow my CMAs out of
So we all have something we can learn from each other.
Well, I was just about to say, you said something very similar to what Jess said. Like, she said, find a mentor. You're kind of going, look to those people that you kind of look up and go, what are they doing? How can I replicate, emulate, but do it in my style, do it in my flavor?
Yeah, and I think that, like, for me, like, I made a little bit of, I wouldn't call it like a fatal flaw, but like, I started listening to people that like weren't better than me. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to say that I'm awesome, but like, why am I listening to this person? Like, I had a coach at one point, I was like, this coach is doing 20, 21 deals a year. I'm like, I'm doing 48. I'm like, okay, well, different markets. Well, no, hold up. It's actually not. Like, they're the same price point. I'm like, okay, so my GCI is actually double this person who's coaching me on how to build my business. I'm like, this doesn't make sense, right?
So find the right person.
Totally, right? I mean, if you want to build MindShare, call you, right? If you want to learn about systems, call Kathleen Black, right? If you want to learn about how to, like, just be you and live, like, the best life you possibly can, and just, Sarah Kalki's a great person.
She's awesome.
She's amazing, right? See? If you want to just, like, live your life and do things on your, like, Paul Hannon. I mean, that guy does his business the way he wants to do it, and he's done it better than anyone I've ever seen, right? Cool. So find what works for you, and stop trying to, like, be in that, like what Jess said earlier, like, you feel like you have to be what a realtor is supposed to be. That's bullshit. I mean,
just go be you.
Be you.
Cool.
Be you, and I mean, things will start to happen, and when they start to happen, you feel like you can be even more you, because you're like, okay, those results are coming, right?
I love it, dude. I love it. Charlene.
I think my biggest piece of advice would be fail forward, because there's going to be a lot of failure in this business. None of us have got to where we are by just, you know, riding the coattails of someone else and having this amazing experience. It took a lot of, like, this business is a roller coaster ride.
For sure.
Even for the top producers, there are some really high highs and there's some super low lows, and everything is a learning experience. And I think that the worst thing you can do is, like, judge yourself based on what other people are doing, and just kind of know that what works for someone else doesn't necessarily work for you. Find what works for you. Don't be afraid to take a chance.
Don't worry about the Joneses.
Yeah, and sometimes that chance is not going to work out. That's fine. At least you tried. Move forward.
I love it. I love it. Go ahead.
I was just going to focus more on the steak than the sizzle.
Okay, cool.
Right? I mean, I think a lot of us are like, we buy in with the sizzle of something. It's like, wow, that's the new cool thing.
The bright, shiny object.
Bright, shiny object syndrome. Like, we all have it. And I mean, as much as we all say, like, we don't have it, we still do. I mean, we're still, like, out there looking and seeing, like, what's that new thing?
Social media does that to us too,
right?
Right?
Kills us, right? But I mean, like, find that one thing that just works and run with it, right?
Definitely. It's a Ferrari.
So,
100%.
And I like what you said, you know, about, I'm big on Audible too.
Yep.
But I have a few books that I go back to in like a drought or
and you kind of turn them back on.
What books are those?
For me,
go for it. Yeah,
what
are they?
The Monk That Sold a Ferrari.
The Monk That Sold a Ferrari.
The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Okay.
It's just that book about, like, everything kind of happens for a reason.
Yep.
And seeing when there's a negative, pulling the positive out of it.
Yep.
And we've all had negatives. I mean, we've all had
100%.
we've
Many,
all had
many,
learning curves.
100%.
But like what Charlene said, I fail forward.
Yeah,
Right?
I
So
like that. I like that a lot.
I have no regrets in my business. 5 years in the business, have I made mistakes? For sure, 100%.
You have to. You gotta. You know, my dad used to say to me. He told me this one day. I mean, he's told me this many times. He was proud of me because I learned to lose. And as a kid growing up, I never understood what that meant. I'm like,
Never.
learn to lose. What are you talking about, right? But he said to me, and he brought it back to a hockey tryout. He says, you went to the first tryout, you got cut, and you literally looked at the clock in the car and you went, Dad, we still have time to get to the next one. He goes, I was like shocked. Like you didn't care. It was like you learned and you kept moving. And now that I'm older, I can internalize that and really understand it and go, we lose every day something.
Every
we
day.
learn something new every day.
Definitely.
And you know what? Today is going to end at some point, and tomorrow is going to start again. You cannot let today affect tomorrow in a negative way. Because if you do that, you are going to lose. Right? So if you want to win, shake it off, keep moving on, accept the struggles, accept the losing, learn from it, and be better at it, right?
100%.
As Leah would say, dust it off and try again.
That's
right?
it. Any parting words?
Cheers.
Where can people find
Yeah,
you?
cheers is great.
Real quick, contact info. Where can people, if anybody wants to reach out, just like pick your brain.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be at K2 for the next 3 hours.
This is like past that point.
This is going live on Friday, dude.
Okay, so Friday I'll be at my cottage. But no, I mean, look us up. We're the Georgian group. We rock Aurelia Barrie. So I focus on Aurelia. My team focuses on Barrie. But yeah, we're on social,
Sweet.
Instagram, Facebook,
Cool.
all that kind of stuff. But yeah, parting words. I mean, I think the kind of the sum of the last hour and a half has been, be yourself.
Yep.
Find those people that genuinely have your best interest at heart, and just kind of I want to say grind. I hate the word grind, but dust yourself off and just keep moving forward. Right, fail forward. So.
Cool. I like it. Contact info? It's just if anybody wants to
Yeah,
pick
no, so if
brains.
you want to
or-
contact me, my website's stayinthegta.ca or Charlene at stayinthegta.ca, and I'm always happy to help anybody, so reach
Sweet.
out.
Sweet. Sean?
SarniaProperty.com is our website, or you can connect with me on Instagram at Buying with Ryan.
Nice.
Ryan.
Love it.
Jess?
6i Jess, 6ix. Side Jess.
Love it.
If
If anybody needs to pick brains, make sure you get in touch with these amazing rock stars. They do an awesome, awesome job. You guys have heard everything from video to social media to time management to budgeting to systems to learning to lose. This has been, guys, I thank you very, very much. This has been an absolutely amazing, whatever it's been, 90 minutes or something. I know I said about 40 or
Longer than we
50,
thought.
but you know what? I think that there was so much value coming out of this that anybody that is listening, no matter what level of their business they're at, they are going to be able to take something away that really helps them. So thank you guys very much for your
Thank
time
you for
today.
this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
You're either listening to this on iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, or Spotify. Or maybe you went to industrysyndicate.com or even mindshare101.com. Wherever you like to consume your content, please rate, review, and subscribe. And if you haven't yet, connect with me on Facebook at MindShare101 and on Instagram at DavidGreenspan101. This has been another episode of the MindShare Podcast. Thanks, everyone, for listening.